Have you ever found yourself texting a woman nonstop after an amazing first date, only to have her suddenly pull away and ghost you? Or maybe you hooked up, but after showing too much interest, she started getting distant and unavailable? Well, if that's you, you'll want to tune into this week's episode where we talk about how to stop over pursuing, regain the upper hand, and actually get her to chase you instead. I'm going to share the story of my client, Mr. C, we'll call him, who made the classic mistakes and lost out on some amazing women because of it. But I'll also walk you through how he's recovering by changing his approach and using Instagram to spark new interest without even messaging these girls individually. This is not an episode for total newbies. If you're struggling to get dates, this strategy might feel a bit advanced. But if you're already getting women interested but losing them too quickly, you'll learn how to turn that around and create a life where women chase you instead.
You're listening to the Inner Confidence Podcast, home to the social funnel method. My name is Robbie Kramer. I've been a coach since 2007, and I've helped over 1,300 digital nomads, expats, and remote workers build an amazing social and dating life abroad. My mission is simple: to help you position yourself to meet stunning women and make awesome friends en route to becoming the most confident and attractive version you can be. I have an intense hatred for fluff and useless advice that you can't take action on, so tune in each week to learn the most effective and implementable strategies to level up your game. So stick around, let's go.
So let me tell you about Mr. C. He's a great guy, divorced, has a kid, got a lot of charisma, very good job, and a very high value guy. And he's really good at getting first dates, but he keeps losing women after they hook up because he overinvests too quickly. He starts texting them constantly, trying to lock in that next date right away. And that's where things go wrong. Women pick up on this overinvestment quickly. It kills the mystery and it makes them come across as too eager. We're going to dive into why this happens and how you can avoid making the same mistake. So let's talk about why patience is really the key. And here's the thing, most guys, they think that by constantly staying in touch, they're keeping the girl's interest. But the reality, it's the opposite. Women want to feel like they're winning a prize and that you're not a guaranteed option. When you give too much too soon, you kill that mystery. And that mystery is crucial to keeping her intrigued. You have to trust that if you've done a great job on the first date, there's mutual attraction and she's going to be thinking about you. And she'll want to see you again. But if you push for the second date right away, you're letting her know that she doesn't need to work for your attention at all. And once that happens, you'll notice her interest will start to fade a lot of the time. Let's talk about the psychology behind that. In every romance novel, it's the same plot, 50 Shades of Grey, doesn't matter. It's always the same plot. There's a very attractive guy, right? He's super hot, super mysterious. He's a little bit mentally unavailable. And the woman invests in trying to fix him and win him over, right? He's hot, but he's damaged and she's going to fix him. Women are naturally drawn to challenges. They love the feeling of turning a guy from aloof to deeply invested. Now, I'm not saying you need to play mind games or be a jerk, but what I am saying is that patience, space, and allowing her to wonder about you is far more effective than bombarding her with texts and calls. You have to become the man that she's chasing, not the guy who's chasing her. If you're texting her nonstop, you're acting like the guy who's giving away his value for free. Meanwhile, there's some other guy out there who's less invested and she's thinking about how to win his attention. Now, I want to be clear. Being mysterious doesn't mean being cold or rude. It means having enough going on in your own life that you're not obsessing over her. You've got hobbies, goals, things you're working on that keep you busy. Women respect a guy who has a full life outside of her. They respect a guy who's on their purpose. That's how you maintain that sense of mystery and become the guy she's trying to figure out. So Mr. C needs to stop overinvesting. He needs to trust the process. I told him he needs to try something different, to not pursue after he hooks up with a new girl and start immediately bombarding her with second date requests. I told him he needs to tell me about every date right after it happens, and he's not allowed to follow up until I've given him the exact playbook. And if this feels like a burdensome amount of coaching back and forth, don't worry. I'll explain how I can easily do that with him in a second. And I told him that waiting is going to feel unnatural at first, but it's the only way for him to break his pattern.
Real quick, so I'm excited that you're here listening to the podcast, but if you're someone who's more of a visual learner, like I am, and you'd benefit from seeing what you're hearing instead of just listening, then I invite you to go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm back to publishing videos there every week, and some of the lessons can't be found here in the audio feed because, well, you need to see them in order to learn. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the Robbie Kramer YouTube channel via the link in the show notes, and you'll get more tips, tutorials, lessons, and for better or worse, more of my face. All right, hope to see you over on YouTube. Now let's get back to the show.
Let me tell you the story about the girl in San Diego. Mr. C met this girl through an online dating site, might have been Raya. They had a lot of back and forth, a lot of fun banter. He used all the content in our online dating blueprint protocol, used all the lines, made them his own, but, back and forth, they did some video calls, and it was a little bit of a rigmarole to do the date because he's from up north, but he drove down and they had an amazing first date together in her neck of the woods. They spent the entire day, ended up in the sack hooking up, and he told me it was some of the best sex he's ever had. She seemed super into it too. But then things took a turn. Mr. C, being excited and eager to see her again, invited her on another trip, like right away. And when that didn't work out, he invited her to Burning Man, and he pushed to see her too quickly. And you know what happened? She started going cold. He hasn't seen her since. Even though she's told him she's still interested, she's never available, and we both know why. He killed the mystery. He over-pursued, and she lost that initial spark. Now, for anyone listening who's been in a similar situation, this is what happens when you don't let things breathe. When you try to force a connection, especially after a great first date, you take away her chance to wonder about you and to miss you. And that's where Mr. C went wrong. Let's talk about how to recover. And this is the Instagram strategy I mentioned. And here's what I told Mr. C. The only way to get a girl like this back is to stop pushing to see her. Instead, he needs to go live his awesome life and showcase it on Instagram. Why? Because when you throttle back and you stop pursuing, she's going to notice that shift. She'll wonder why you aren't texting anymore. Couple that with the cool things you're posting on Instagram, things like hanging out with other beautiful women, going to events that she's not invited to, or just generally doing fun and exciting stuff. She's going to start feeling that FOMO. This doesn't mean that you're directly trying to make her jealous, but when she sees that you're out living your life and you've got other attractive women around, she'll start questioning what's happening. Is he dating them? Are they just friends? She won't know, but that's where the magic happens. The uncertainty creates mystery, and that mystery is what's going to reignite her interest. So before I share more about the follow-up funnel, I've got something that can really help you level up your productivity, and that's Magic Mind. It's a mental performance shot that's been a total game changer for me. I just had a shot of this before filming. And whether you're powering through a busy day or you're trying to get into that perfect flow, Magic Mind combines 12 brain-boosting ingredients like L-theanine, ashwagandha, which will help you stay focused and calm without the crash you get from drinking coffee or energy drinks. What really makes it stand out is the benefits only get better over time. The longer you use it, the more you'll notice improvements in your focus, mood, and stress management. That's why I decided to subscribe. It's why I also promote them on this podcast. I didn't want to disrupt that daily productivity flow. With a subscription, Magic Mind gets delivered to my door every month with free shipping. Plus, if you ever want to cancel, it's super easy. Just click or send a text, no questions asked. They offer both 15 bottle and 30 bottle cases, so you can tailor it to how much you need. And I usually drink one every morning, but if you can prefer, you can use it every other day. Best part, there's a 100% money back guarantee on your first purchase. You can try it risk-free. You don't even have to return the stuff if you don't like it. And here's the deal. You can get up to 48% off your subscription right now. Just head over to magicmind.com/innerconfidence20 and use the code innerconfidence20 at checkout. Again, that's magicmind.com/innerconfidence20 and use the code innerconfidence20 to get up to 48% off. Trust me, it's going to make a huge difference in your day. Okay, let's talk about the follow-up funnel. Now, let's be real for a second. This strategy might not work with the San Diego girl specifically, but that's okay. The key is that Mr. C has made the same mistake with other women, and the same recovery plan applies. It's a numbers game. What I mean by that is if you stop pushing and instead let your lifestyle speak for itself through your Instagram, even if this doesn't work on one specific girl, it only needs to work on 1 out of 20, 1 out of 30. That's the difference between living a life of dating abundance where the hottest women are chasing you and a life of scarcity where you feel rejected. Trust me, that 1 out of 20, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 30 is going to make a massive difference over the long run when you run that scenario out. If you understand stats, you'll understand. Every woman Mr. C has made these mistakes with is now part of his Instagram funnel. He doesn't have to individually message any of them. They're all watching his stories, they're seeing his posts. And the more they see him thriving, the more they'll start to reconsider. Maybe he's not that guy who over-texted after all. Maybe he's someone worth another shot.
That's when Mr. C gets his second chance, and all the hard work of living his best life and letting his Instagram showcase that will pay off. Now, let me show you 2 case studies from the last 2 days of my clients having success with this exact strategy. The first, win. Yesterday and today, two separate girls that I met in the city I left out to protect the innocent have randomly started conversations with me about mental and physical wellness stuff. These girls have not been liking my stories, but they've been watching them. This is a powerful moment for me. I logically knew that I'm supposed to post stories about my life, but I was mostly taking it on faith that something will happen as a result. Here is evidence that my content is causing ripples, even if they're not readily apparent. And then this one here, in response to another guy in the community, blank, sure you already know all this, but doubling down on Robbie's approach to share an example and how it paid off. Robbie had me do exactly this kind of icing with a girl who flaked about a month ago. And by keeping IG active with Robbie's let her chase you, build attraction via stories, and don't ask her out, this girl is now seriously chasing me. She went out of her way to work at a cafe across from my apartment today for reasons, and ended up working out of my apartment for half the day after the cafe closed. I offered at that point. I was at work at the clinic, so she wrote me a lovey-dovey handwritten note telling me how much she wants to see me and hang out more. I still can't believe how well at Robbie's approach works. Fucking black magic.
Now, I want to tie this back to the system I've built in my community, and Mr. C's story is a perfect example of how guys sabotage their chances by over-investing too early. But with the right feedback and guidance, you can prevent this from happening in the first place. In our community, we have a feature where you can create a private thread about every single girl in the Discord server and get tailored advice of every step of the process with that specific girl. You can share screenshots of your conversations. You can explain exactly how you met and get help on exactly how to proceed, whether it's when to text, what to say, when to back off. We've even got an AI that's trained to help you craft witty text responses that can keep her interested and re-engage. For guys like Mr. C, this system has been totally game-changing. It allows them to identify blind spots, make sure they don't overinvest, and ultimately, it helps them win. The follow-up strategy we just talked about, using Instagram as a funnel, is something we teach and support through the community. It's the absolute best way to avoid mistakes and maximize your chances and build a life where women are chasing you. So at the end of the day, managing your investment levels is the key to keeping women interested. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new connection, but you've got to keep your cool and you got to let her chase you a little. And if you're like Mr. C, wondering how to recover from mistakes with women you've already lost, trust me, living your life fully and letting your Instagram show that off will do wonders. Remember, it's a numbers game. It doesn't have to work with every single woman. Even if this approach helps you reconnect with just 1 out of the 20 women, that's the difference between having that abundant life where you're in control versus feeling stuck and rejected. It's about shifting the dynamic, creating mystery, letting her wonder what you're up to. So if you're tired of overinvesting, chasing women, or being ghosted, take a step back, live your life, make your Instagram as attractive of a showcase of what you're all about, and watch how women start coming back in your orbit. And if you want that real-time advice on exactly how to do this, join the IC community. You'll get tailored support feedback on all your interactions, strategies like the Instagram follow-up that we've been discussing in very specific detail for your specific sort of content that you need to post. You don't have to figure this stuff out alone. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next episode where we'll dive into more strategies to level up your dating life and overall confidence.
I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're a regular listener and you're digging our content, do me a favor, leave us a 5-star review. It's how other people learn about the show and how we can spread the word. If you don't feel like it's worthy of 5 stars, just go ahead, don't leave any review at all. And I want to let you know that we've opened up a few slots in our exclusive community. We're accepting applications to join our select group of men and experience the radical power of accountability, step up your game, cross everything off your sexual bucket list, and become a beast at accomplishing all of your goals. To learn more and apply, go to innerconfidence.com/community.